Okay, so excuse my messy desk and shaky camera, but got my sensor to work. Check this out. I'm just moving my hand closer and further away from the sensor. So, there we go. Quite happy with that. So, now that I have this working, what I could do with it is have it track proximity to the sensor. It could be mounted on textiles, record distance, things like that. Okay, so another weird quality, weirdly set up documentation video. So, I'm trying something different. I'm reading through the serial ports rather than using standard Formata because I can't quite figure out how to set up a sensor on it. Some people were telling me to set it up like a potentiometer, but that wasn't working. So I'm going to try and just take serial data that I'm seeing in the serial monitor. Hope it works. Yeah, so like when I'm playing with my sensor, things are appearing in the serial monitor. So I'm hoping that I can just feed this data straight into processing using the serial read sketch. So let's see if this works. Okay, so I'm playing with my sensor. So numbers are changing, that's good. But I don't know if that's just interference. So I think I still have to do some tinkering about, but I think that serial communication might be the way to go when working with sensors for now. Yeah, so those numbers are changing quite arbitrarily. I'm not convinced that my actual hand's doing anything. Yeah, I've took my hand away from the sensor and it's still just changing randomly, so I think that that's just some kind of interference. So, back to the... Okay, so I have changed this line of code. So just this one here, just because I realised that I was on COM3. So there's still a bit of interference, but when I put my hand directly in front of it, so it's a bit laggy, it takes a little while to do stuff, but when I'm actually touching the sensor, I'm seeing that 109 value. And I'm noticing that the values are changing slightly. When I put my hand right up to the sensor, I mean there's things kind of around it, so they might actually be interfering, so let's move that. So I'm still getting interference, and it definitely seems like it's a bit slow. Like, the movements that are happening over here are taking a few seconds to appear in the serial monitor, but it seems like there's some progress. I think this little square's died though. So I think that's something to bear in mind, this serial communication, because it's taking a little while to appear here. I'll need to figure that one out. I'll need to try and get it so it's a bit more optimized so that when people are actually interacting with it, they can see changes in real time rather than a couple of seconds lag. There's also interference still happening, so I think it's difficult to see exactly just how much information I'm getting through the serial monitor. I think I have to refine this a little bit more, but it's a start. It's a start. Okay, so I have been looking at Arduino projects online, specifically ones including sensors, and I found this little project. So basically this helps detect when things are a certain proximity to the sensor. So when things are far away, this little red LED will light up, and when things are close, that yellow one will. So there we go. Thought I was going to embarrass me there. So I have some kind of tangible output now for the sensor that I can now apply to different things. I think I'm still going to have to do serial monitor communication between Arduino and processing. But this is quite promising. It's a super basic little experiment / prototype. But at least I have an idea now of how I can use the sensor. So I definitely know more than I did this morning. And look, it's working. It's working. I'm so happy with that.